Before I begin, let me provide a very quick definition of a solution and a project. A solution is a container for projects. A project is a container of files. For C# projects, that's mostly C# source files. The older file extension for solution files was .sln. But with .NET 9, Microsoft introduced a new format with the .slnx extension. The reason .slnx is an improvement is that it uses a simplified XML format, which makes it far more readable and easier to work with than the older format. So expect that over time, both individual developers and teams will start migrating from SLN to SLNX. Just to be clear, the project file extension stays the same, .csproj. And as you may already know, project files have been using XML since the early days of .NET. So with .slnx, both solution and project files now share a consistent XML structure, which is a nice win for the ecosystem overall. There are two ways to migrate your existing .sln file to the newer .slnx format. The first is through the .NET CLI. Simply run .NET SLN migrate followed by the path to your .sln file, or if you only have a single solution file, you can simply omit the solution name and use the shorthand version. The second is through Visual Studio. So open your existing .sln file, then go to File, then Save As, select XML solution file .slnx from the file type, drop down, and hit Save. That's all there is to it. Now let's see both approaches in action using an actual solution file. Okay, so let's begin. Here I have a single solution which contains a single project. As you have noticed, this is an older solution file, so let's go ahead and take a look at its contents. As you can see, the older solution file contains many GUIDs, does not have a very user-friendly format such as JSON or XML or other. On top of all that, it has a lot of configuration information which really isn't very useful when you are simply trying to see which projects exist within the solution and where they are located. It also adds a lot of difficulty when it comes to merge conflicts because of all the data it includes mentioned previously. Now, the good news is that starting with .NET 10, when you generate a new solution, it automatically uses the .slnx format, which is a lot cleaner. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to migrate this older solution into the newer format. Here, I am within the current directory, and what I will type is .NET SLN migrate, as I don't really need to specify the solution name in this case, as you already know. As you can see, now there are two solution files, .sln or the older version and .slnx, which is the newer version. Let's take a look side by side. As you can see, the newer version is much cleaner and understandable. It uses a standard format, which is XML, and no longer contains GUIDs, configuration data, or other. By the way, if you are finding this helpful, a like and subscribe goes a long way. Now, back to it. At this point, you can remove the older solution file, and once that is complete, go ahead and run .NET build and .NET test to verify that everything works properly. Now, in this case, there are no tests, but I will run the command as a standard procedure anyways. Let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, everything looks good with the new solution file. I will actually bring back the older solution as I would like to demonstrate how to convert it to .slnx using Visual Studio. We'll go ahead and open it using Visual Studio 2026. Now I will click on the solution icon and go to File menu and choose Save Solution Migration Example.sln as. Once a dialog opens up, I will choose SLNX and save it. As you can see, once again, SLNX file has been successfully created, and once again, I will remove the .sln file from the folder. Now, here you are seeing something that is a bit more realistic, which is a multi-project solution. So here I have two folders, src and tests, and within each folder there are two projects. Let's go ahead and convert this one as well. Here I am within the current directory, and what I will type is .NET SLN migrate once again and execute the command. As you can see, the new .slnx file has been created, so let's once again take a look at both side by side. As you can see, the older version is growing much faster because of all the configuration data and GUIDs for each project, whereas the newer version, or the .slnx file, is so much more user-friendly and very readable. You can clearly see that there are two folders within which you have your projects. Now, even if you have lots and lots of projects, you can still clearly understand how things are organized. Now, hopefully this gave you a clear understanding of how to switch from .sln to .slnx files and the benefit of using the newer and cleaner format. On that note, for more in-depth content, head over to digitaldevacademy.com, link is in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.